Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chronicles of Hollywood History, past, present, and future. Welcome. And here now, Corey Gomez.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chronicles of Hollywood History, past, present, and future. Today I am joined by, first of all, let me say a big thank you to Mr. Art Camacho for setting up an interview I have been wanting to do for 10 years. I am talking to Sasha Mitchell. How are you today?
Oh, great, man. Thank you. Yeah, Art Camacho's a wonderful guy. He's funny. He just texted me and told me give you a call.
Yeah, I've been, he was like, is there anybody you want to talk to? I was like, man, I've been trying to talk to Sasha Mitchell for 10 years. I was like, he was the first person I ever wanted to interview. And he was like, I know Sasha because I knew you guys had done Gangland together. And then, yeah, he called me like a week later and he's like, you got a pen? I got a phone number. I was like, oh, man, I owe you big time.
He's nice. Yeah, we do that Dragon Fest together. You know, in California, they have that convention of martial arts people. Mm-hmm. And then also the Martial Arts Hall of Fame every year is like in Atlantic City. So everybody goes out there and, you know, hangs out. And we're always together. So I see him a lot, actually.
Because you were at a Chiller Theater a few years back. But I was going to go to it, but I ended up, for some reason, I couldn't go. I can't remember. My kid was little. It didn't fly out. But I remember you were going to be one of the guests, and I was like, fuck, you know, but...
I did do it, yeah. That was, I don't know where, Jersey?
Yeah. It was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, it was fun. That was a lot of fun. Those are really cool people. I never even heard of Chiller Theater. But it was really cool. It was really fun.
Your Kickboxer movies, believe it or not, they're actually even embraced by the horror crowd. Everybody just dug the 3 Kickboxer films you did.
You know, that's probably like all the effects and appliances they use. Like on Michelle, you know, Michelle's like just some French guy. He's not Asian at all. So they did that like Mission Impossible makeup on him, and then they put those appliances on me when it was, you know, I was supposed to get cut and bleeding and stuff. So they did a lot of that, you know, horror face stuff with those Kickboxer movies. Had a lot of blood.
You started out on your first big role was Dallas, correct?
I think, yeah. Like long term, yeah. That was like 4 years. Before that, I had done a bunch of other stuff, though.
I just always remembered Dallas. I didn't watch Dallas, but you were like Patrick Duffy's nephew, and then you have the big run on Step by Step where you're Patrick Duffy's nephew.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that funny?
It's that's when I first saw you was Step by Step.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a really fun show.
Suzanne Summers was so gorgeous.
Yeah, she was a really nice lady.
What was it like playing Cody?
That was a blast. Well, like Rich Carell directed like a majority of those episodes, you know, and he's Charles Carell's son, remember, from Amos and Andy? Mm-hmm. And he just like old school humor. So we would just, you know, blow things up and have a blast. It's like ride your motorcycle through the kitchen. And he was really great, man. So Step by Step was a blast. It was really fun. And it's like it was a live audience, you know, so it was really good.
Do you still talk to any of the people from the show?
Like the producers sometimes, you know, we email here and there. Patrick and I'll email here and there. You know, he like had a big ranch up in Oregon. I taught him how to weld, like when we were doing Dallas, and gave him his first welder and some stuff like that. We were kind of close, but he, you know, he left. He's in Oregon, and I'm working in a union now. So we work, you know, like, well, right now we're doing like 6 10s, or 5 10s and an 8. But we're going into 6 12s and 8. So starting really soon, we're going to be working 7 days a week. I don't really talk to a lot of people except my kids.
Yeah. Do you mind being, you know, because you know a lot of people are always going to remember you as Cody. Does that bother you at all?
No, it's good to make people laugh. You know, like that's why people remember you. You know, if you can make people laugh, like think about it right now on this coronavirus. If they were at home and you could make them laugh, even for a minute, you know, like to make them feel better, just for that minute or two. That's why they remember you. You know, of course, they'll always remember that guy. because, like heartthrob people and things like that, tastes change. And they're like, well, I used to like, well, Chachi or something like that, right? And then they're 20 years old and they're like, man, what was I thinking? But if you make people laugh, they like you. It's just like if you feed people, like food is just love.
Mm-hmm.
You give them food and they're just like, oh my God, it feels so much better. It's the same as laughter.
You got to do in two or three episodes. I can't remember. I haven't rewatched all of them yet. I'm only in the second season. You got to do martial arts in there. Was that your idea or was that the producer's idea?
Like when we signed up, yeah, I think that was like probably the second or third season. I told them, I said, look, I got to go and leave and do a feature during these couple weeks. If you want me to stay, I'll stay, but I've got to go do this movie. But I'll sign the contract and whatever. And that, made them aware of my martial arts movies and things like that. And so I think it was just bankable. If there's another audience that'll watch Step by Step for martial arts that are already martial arts fans that follow Sash, maybe we could draw them in, that kind of thing. So I'm sure that's probably all it was, just bankable.
What is your martial arts background?
Well, I started boxing like everybody else, regular American boxing, and like the PAL. Do you have PALs where you live?
We don't.
So they have these things in New York. They're called the Police Athletic League, and kids go there and, beat the crap out of each other and learn how to box. And then I got back to California after high school, and I started studying with Benny Akitas, Benny the Jet, and that was like around, I graduated in 85, so that was probably like 87, 88 by the time I got back to California and started studying with him. Studied with him for a lot of years, and he had like Aikido carve, his style he made up, because his last name was Akitas, but it had a mix of a lot of different styles, like American hands, like for American boxing, not Thai hands, but he used elbows and knees and Taekwondo redirects, and round kicks, leg kicks from Thai boxers. So he was kind of a mixed fighting style, not so much a martial art, because a lot of times a single martial art could maybe not be the best defense in one situation or another, or the best attack in one situation or another,
Mm-hmm.
So fighting styles are kind of different than martial arts, if you know what I mean. And then see, he mixed it up really well. He even brought Gene LaBelle in. I remember.
Wow.
Do you know Gene LaBelle? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Judo Gene comes in one day. He's like, we're going to do wind exercises, and he gets on top of me. And he's like, all right, get up. And I'm fighting with him, right? I'm like 25 or something. And I'm fighting with him and wrestling with him, trying to get up. And then I just grabbed him by his pants and around his neck and stood up. I just squatted him, But, of course, as soon as you do that, you stand up, you want a breath of air. And he put this gi on me. And I never wear gis because we wear boxing shorts,
Mm-hmm.
And he choked me right out. It was so funny. I love that guy. But, yeah, I've known him so much over the years. We had him on Step by Step. He was in there a couple times. He was on Family Matters with Jaleel.
Mm-hmm.
One time I walked in, it was so funny. All the producers were in there. And they were just in the next stage over from us. And I walked in there, and like I saw him right away. Like I bowed. I'm like, Sensei. And all these people are standing there. They don't know who he is. They hired him to be like a referee because he does that sometimes, in the ring. And like he's done that in movies. He was the referee, if you watch, in Kickboxer 2. He was the guy in the ring with us, Gene LaBelle. So they're looking at me like, right, this is Cody, right, from the stage next door. Why is he bowing to the ref? It was like so funny. But that was a lot of fun. And then Benny put me with a teacher who came in from out of town, from Majero Gym, Amsterdam, and named Shuki Ron. And he had, trained with Robbie Kamen and Jan Plas and Ernesto Roost and all these, like just, gods from Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
And So he trained me, and then like you can see the difference kind of between Kickboxer 2 and 3 and 4 in the fighting styles. From when I went from training with Benny exclusively to training with Shuki also. Because Shuki was like, I mean, he was a jet fighter. He was still a jet setter. But it was a little different style.
How did Kickboxer 2 come about?
That was Albert Pune. You know, Albert's was friends with Steve Friedman when he was alive. And I think he had done a couple movies for him. And Albert is just like, he's just unbelievable. He's a beast, you know, like when he has a shot list, that shot list gets done no matter what happens. So he could save a little time at the end of the day, maybe to get in like 2 or 3 shots that he wanted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so producers tend to give him a lot of leeway, and they love him because he gets everything done. Always. And he makes things look like he has this like artistic style, and you know, it looks really good, but it's done really pretty rapidly. And he, I think, decided to use that in talking with Steve Friedman. He's like, Sasha's gonna do it, I'll do it, but I'm getting this kid from the dojo, and he's gonna do Kickboxer 2. And I don't think Steve really had a lot to do with it or say. I think it was all Albert.
Were you nervous about doing a sequel to because that movie kind of the first Kickboxer kind of shot Van Damme to a little bit, although I like Bloodsport better, into more stardom, so to speak. Were you nervous about playing his brother or anything like that?
No, not at all. I don't think I even saw the movie.
It's not very good. Sure. I make no qualms about saying it. Kickboxer is to me, it's an example of how to be a terrible manager and corner man all rolled into one. I didn't care for it. I liked 2, 3, and 4. 4 being my favorite of the series were the ones that you did.
Yeah, and he used Alexio, right? Dennis Alexio on that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm not a real big fan. I don't really like the way he fights.
I liked your fight with Matthias Hu. Matthias Hu's nicest man in the world.
Yeah, he's such a sweetheart.
And your fight with him in 2 was great.
Yeah, you know, I worked with him like every day for like 6 weeks, every single day to get him loosened up, maybe limber, and know that my kicks were coming at him and know that he wasn't getting hurt. You know, and he at the end of it, he was just unbelievable. I think that one, they even shot it like a couple of times. They put a camera in between us on the ground and had me do jump spinning wheel kick at his face. You know, and it's like as those safety kicks went by, they like kind of just the foam like brushed him, and he did, you know, and he reacted perfect, and he was totally confident, and he knew, and it was just like, it was unbelievable. He's a great guy. Every single day he was at the gym.
One of his first movies was No Retreat, No Surrender 2, and when I was talking to Lauren Avedon, he was even saying, you know, he could pad up, but Matthias, you know, of course, Matthias, no shirt on. And he was like, I must have kicked him in the stomach, you know, 30, 40 times, you know, in one day alone. And he would just always just get up, wipe himself off. You know, that was like his first film. And he was, you know, filming a fight toe to toe with Lauren Avedon. So, I mean, yeah, he's an athlete to say the least.
Yeah, he's such a good guy. And with a heart like as big as he is.
What was it like fighting Michael Quissy?
Oh, Michelle, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's, you know, I don't know. He's only got like, I don't know.
He's intimidating looking.
No, he's not. He's like a French guy. He doesn't. That's not his face. His face, that's plastic. All of it.
That's what I was just saying to you.
Yeah, he just kind of, you know, I don't know. Look, why? You know martial arts, right? Look at his kicks. Look at the way he fights.
It's an odd I didn't know if that was like his version of movie foo or if it was just like an odd style that he used.
I don't know. It seems like a non-style. Same with the other guy, like Camille.
That was terrible.
From the same dojo, you know. It seems like, I don't know. Like if you, and most of those kicks were Benny's legs.
Really?
Yeah. You can see, if you actually really look, you'll see totally well, I mean, you'd have to love Benny and know him and been kicked by him a lot, but yeah, those are Benny's legs.
Well, I have the box set, so I'll watch it again. I watch them all the time, actually.
You watch Kickboxer 2, and you see the legs flying and knees and stuff, that's Sensei Ben.
Wow. Now, when you did Kickboxer 3, which was different than the other kickboxers, because, now we got David Sloan, he's got a gun, and he's going after, I liked it a lot, don't get me wrong, going after the human traffickers and all that, pretty ahead of its time film, actually. Was that a fun one to make?
Yeah, that was a blast. Yeah, we were like in Brazil. That was really fun. They got really good coffee down there. It was amazing.
When I would work out in the evenings, that was one of my go-to movies. When I'd go to the gym, then I'd do like lighter weights when I got home. And Kickboxer 3 was one of my go-to ones to throw on when I'd be training.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was great. There was like good guys there. Marco Ruas was in there. Do you see him?
Who is he?
Who's Marco Ruas?
No, I know who he is, but who was he in the movie?
In the movie, he was fighting with some lady, and I turned him around, and I think I kneed him a couple times. I threw him on top of the table.
Yeah, that was Marco Ruas, really?
Yeah. There's guys all in those movies that you just like, you'd be shocked. Like, especially, I mean, starting with Sensei Gene LaBelle. You're like, oh my God, that's him.
It's always kind of cool to catch that.
If you watch, you remember that movie? What was it called? The Golden Child.
The Eddie Murphy movie.
That with Eddie Murphy movie. Yeah. There's a guy that runs up to him and puts a knife in his throat, and he like makes this like snarly face. He's like, "Hold it right there," and that's Gene LaBelle also.
Really?
He did it all the time in all kinds, hundreds and hundreds of movies.
That'd be awesome. I've heard a lot of I've had a lot of people tell me the Gene LaBelle Steven Seagal story.
Oh yeah, because those were Jet Center guys that were there. Those were all my guys that were there.
Gene LaBelle was nobody to mess with.
Never. And he's such a sweetheart. Who would mess with him? And he wasn't messing with Gene. It didn't have anything to do with Gene.
He was bothering one of the students, wasn't he?
No, he was talking about Chuck and Aaron. See, Chuck Norris in L.A., because he's from the Valley, so he's from the Jet Center also. Like, all the guys are all, like, jet fighters. Bill Superfoot Wallace, all those guys. We're all, like, kind of one family. And Chuck and Aaron, all through, like, the 70s and 80s, and then 90s, were had this thing called Kick Drugs Out of School.
Yeah, I remember.
And they would go to all the schools all the time and have talks, and so just everybody just loves him. And this guy wasn't speaking about him very highly or nicely. And Gene was probably about 75, maybe 80 years old at the time, and he's like, "Look, I really appreciate if you don't talk about my friends," And that's all it was. It wasn't really Gene. It was about Chuck. Because just everybody loves Chuck. Everybody does. Because of what he did for the kids,
Yeah, everybody I've talked to just said no one has a bad thing to say about Chuck.
Yeah, they love him. We're all like, all of us love him because of what he did. I mean, he took, like his fame and like whatever he had, and he put it into the kids in the Valley in LA where we're all from. So.
Now, you told me you didn't really like Kickboxer 4. With Tom Matthews, who I talked to last month. That's my favorite of the bunch, man. I love that movie.
Well, it was fun. I liked, because we had the Machado brothers there, right? So Egan and John were there. I love them. Like, they're like unbelievable, those guys. And I liked the fights we did. We did it in like 10 days because I guess, I don't know if I should say all this, but Albert wanted to do a favor for Steve again, and asked me if I would do it with him and if we would do it in 10 days. And I was like, dude, and Albert's like, let's just go do it. So we did. And I liked the fights. I liked the movie. I liked a lot of stuff that we did. I didn't like some of the stuff that they did in post
Yeah,
that had nothing to do with me.
and I guess that's what I should have said, that you didn't like some of the more adult themes that they kind of snuck in there.
Yeah, they snuck in stuff and dubbed it and made people think it was me having sex with that girl in the movie, and that's some weird fight with a pool net.
Yeah,
It was like, right? I was like, what is that?
Yeah, it was when you were looking for your wife.
Yeah, so those two things I didn't really. That made me kind of sever my ties with Steve Friedman, because that's what he does. He's like one of those guys that he would time a movie, the fight sequences in Rocky. That's why we had another huge fight in Simi Valley. At the end, we went to Simi, and all my see all these Hells Angels in there, and it's because Steve timed Rocky and decided that we needed, another 3.5 minutes of fighting in the movie to be a success. So we did that. But yeah, that's that guy. That's what he does.
Yeah,
he did.
I loved the movie. You had capoeira, you had taekwondo, you had Muay Thai. I mean, I always like the movies that show the different styles, but why did they go the direction where Zian's gone and we flash forward and you're married and Tong Po's got your wife and now he's a Mexican drug lord? And I mean, it was a ridiculous story. It was a fun story, but was it meant to go somewhere? I'm assuming there was probably plans to do Kickboxer 5 with you in it as opposed to Dacascos, where you went after Tong Po, or wasn't it not thought that far ahead out?
I don't know, because in that one it was already Michelle. I mean, maybe Dennis didn't come. He might have been filming a movie in Hong Kong. Maybe that's what happened with Dennis. Because remember, I'm telling you, it was 10 days.
Yeah. That's not a lot of time to prep.
Yeah, I don't think, or just check people's schedules. If you look at it, right, in the movie, and who they needed there to make money, then they were like, well, let's just do it. Probably. I think Dennis was doing a movie, but he's a wonderful guy. And then, I'm not really sure if I told you the truth, I don't remember the story. I mean, I remember the fight sequences, and I remember most of what was going on, but it was 10 days that we did it. So I don't know. I can tell you better a story about when my kids showed up to New Mexico in vivid detail than I can really about the movie. It was really funny.
I like that your disguise was a pair of sunglasses. I thought that was just the most genius thing ever, that you infiltrate your arch enemy's compound and your disguise is just a pair of sunglasses and he never recognized you. I always thought that was either the cleverest, funniest writing ever or the laziest. I couldn't tell, but I really liked it.
Yeah, we just thought he's not looking around. He'd never see you. That's all it was.
No, it was good. I mean, like I said, I loved it. I thought that's my favorite of the bunch. But then when part 5 came out, I didn't even think. I just grabbed it and I was like, and I like Mark Dacascos, but I was like, where the fuck's Sasha Mitchell? And then they're doing the thing where David Sloan's murdered in the sequence in the beginning and everything. I'm like, God, this really sucks. This is terrible. And then, there's been rumors now for the last few years that Albert wants to do another one with you in it. Have you heard anything more about that? I mean, they've been talking about it forever.
He's been doing some movies, or I think he was trying to put some other kind of movies together. He had me come out to Henderson and do some vampire stuff for a movie once, and I think anything he can do, whatever he's trying to do, I would, because I love him. The first time I met him, he came over to my house, and we just, I was in the backyard, trimming my trees, bonsai trees, and we just, sat out there for hours talking about Kickboxer 2, if I wanted to do it with him, and that was so funny, man. I totally forgot that.
You had fun doing Class of 1999, too, didn't you?
Yeah, that was amazing. That was really fun, man. That movie. Well, we got to blow things up, so it wasn't all just fighting. We were blowing cars up with 25 gallons of gasoline. It was fun, man. That movie was a blast because like the director was like a really big stunt man. Actually, the two of them, the stunt coordinator was his best friend, and between the two of them, like, I don't think it got much better unless you used Terry Leonard. And I did a movie with Terry. The first movie I ever did was with Terry Leonard. But those stunt guys were unbelievable, man.
Oh yeah, that's Spiro. He's gone on. I mean, he did Venom. He does those Fast and the Furious films.
Yeah.
Stunts on. I mean, yeah, that was and Class 1992 is Class 1999. The first one's one of my favorites, and Part 2 is really good. I really liked. I'm always kind of mad that it never got a real release here in the States. You can get it over in England, but here in the States, it's never gotten the proper treatment.
Yeah. Yeah, Spiro Lazatos, he's like unbelievable. Yeah, he was fun. Those movies were.
I like Gangland a lot too, with you and Costas Mandylor, with Art Camacho directing.
Yeah, he was a really good guy. He was married to Lisa, right? Costas. That's how I knew him first. He's a good guy, and his little brother's a great guy too. Costas is a good dude, and Art I love, so I don't think it could have got better for me. It was like old home week.
No, and you had Kathleen in there, and you had Vincent Klein, who never did a whole lot, but he always makes a great villain.
Vince, man, is the best, dude. He's like surfing champion, and it's like he's the sweetest guy in the world, and they always make him into a villain. It's like I don't even understand why. And Kathleen Kidmont, well, she's, the sweetest thing. Like Little House on the Prairie, sweet.
Yeah, I love Kathleen. She's I'm proud to call her a friend. She's one of the nicest ladies anyone will ever meet.
Yeah, of course.
And in her interview, she talked about Gangland. When I first met her, that was one of the ones she mentioned, that she worked with you in Gangland. She had nothing but nice things to say about you.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Yeah, exactly. That was a lot of fun. I love Vince, though, man. He's so funny. Didn't they do a movie with him once where he had, like, orange eyes, too?
He was in Cyborg, I remember. He might have had him in the Van Damme movie.
I think they gave him orange eyes. It was like something like that.
It was either that or Double Dragon, one of those two.
I don't know, but he's like Hawaiian, man. He's like, he's such an easygoing, like, sweetheart of a guy. And Kathleen, it's like she was so, like, believable in that movie, and just like, what a kind, sweet person.
Yeah, it was a great movie. And then, you still pop up in films from time to time, correct?
Yeah, if people call me, like, and, it's usually people, well, like Art, he had me do something last year. I think, yeah. And, New Jersey, that father and father thing. And then, people call me once in a while and say, hey, would you do a movie? But I work for a living. Mm-hmm. I had time when I was a kid looking for movies and playing with TV people, and then working my jobs at night. But then, as I got older, I had kids. I raised 4 kids on my own. So I didn't really have time to look for jobs. I had 4 jobs, and so I didn't really focus much on movies. I was just doing whatever. I spent like 12 years building condo complexes, welding, and then like a good 10 years building email servers all over the world for this t-shirt company. They made like Guess, Nautica, Ping, Zara, like Theory, all that stuff. And then, I don't know, I just kind of ran my life and raised my kids, and didn't really go looking for movies, anymore.
Mm-hmm. I take it your kids are all grown now?
Yeah, my youngest is 25, just turned 25, and 25, 28, 30, and 32.
Oh, yeah, mine's only 11, so I've got a lot of time left.
Yeah, but it'll go by like in 10 minutes.
It goes by too quick.
Way too quick.
But he knows you. He knows Cody. He knows David Sloan. He didn't watch Gangland though, but then we heard that you might be in the Martial Arts Kid Part 2.
Oh yeah, that's with Don Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don and his brother were telling me at the Martial Arts Hall of Fame that they were doing it. They wanted me in it, and I would do anything with those guys. I love those guys.
No, Don's great.
He's unbelievable. That guy can thump. Like, people think of him, I don't know, just as an actor, but like, man, he was an unbelievable fighter. Unbelievable.
Oh, he was the way he would the way he would do he uses a side kick for a jab. I mean, he was a great fighter. I think I talked to him more about his kickboxing for a while than his movies. So the way he fought was just so smooth.
Yeah, he's bad, man. He can thump really well. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, like, because I've trained in martial arts. You know, I mean, I've been my whole life, so I've that's what I always, when I watch these movies, that's why I think I liked like your kickboxers more so than the Van Damme ones. Nothing against Van Damme, but I want to see a real martial artist doing martial arts. To me, that makes for a better film.
Yeah, because you know what you're watching. A lot of times people don't know what they're watching, you know, and it looks one way, you know, like, and then, but like, say fighters that are watching Rocky, you know, would be like, wait a minute, you know what I mean, kind of. But the public thought it was, remember when it came out, it was like, oh my goodness, you know, what a great fight movie.
Yeah.
But really a heart movie. It was like all about your heart and love. It wasn't really about fights.
No, because there's no way that fight would have continued. The ref would have stopped it. I mean, Rocky makes real boxing seem boring.
Yeah. So, you know, but if you watch guys like Don and, you know, even like, you remember in Enter the Dragon, what was the guy that, no, was it Enter the Dragon or Game of Death? The guy that he raped Bruce Lee's sister, remember?
That's Enter the Dragon.
Yeah. Even he was like, that's Bob Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Bob Ross. Like, can you even believe that? You know, like, unbelievable. So the guy with the big scar on his face is Bob Ross. Like, sitting in that movie. You know, just unbelievable artists. Unbelievable fighters.
Yeah, that's why I think I was such a big fan of Don's Blood Fist, because, I mean, they used all real fighters. And that was, like, I think one of the first times Billy Blanks was actually in a film.
Yeah, he's such a sweetheart, too. I like Billy a lot.
Billy made a movie called Showdown, which I always say is better than The Karate Kid, where he plays the janitor that teaches the bullied kid martial arts, but he teaches him the martial arts to fight in the underground arena. So it was a better twist.
Mm.
Now, were you a fan of like martial arts films and everything?
Oh, yeah, of course, man. Like, all of them.
You have a favorite?
A favorite, like, Bruce Lee film?
Or just martial arts film in general that's not Kickboxer 4?
Yeah. I loved all the Bruce Lee films when I was a little kid. And Bruce Lee came out.
Oh, yeah.
Way before Jackie Chan. But Jackie came out, you know, after I was already older. But the Bruce Lee movies I loved, the Chinese Connection, the Game of Death, Enter the Dragon, all those, man. They were like... And then even on the weekends in California, we had the martial arts theater, you know, the flying guillotine and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. Yeah, all that.
Man, so you actually grew up watching them, and then you got to be in them. How awesome was that?
Yeah, you know, but I didn't think of it that way, actually. But you're right. In hindsight, you're right, but I didn't really think of it that way because they weren't made the same way.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same thing, but I don't know. Yeah, you're right. But I didn't think of it that way. I just thought of, like, go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Make sure that, you know, Albert likes what you do. That's all I was doing. Make sure nobody gets hurt.
Well, hopefully, you know, there's a movie that has been listed for you for about, I don't know, 7 years now. It's called Cyborg Nemesis. It's an Albert Pune thing. It's been listed as in production for, I don't know how many years now. Have you filmed anything for that?
No, I think that was, you know, just an idea.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I would love to see you doing that. I'd like to see you. Would you go back if he had a good script and he wanted to do it? Would you go play David Sloan again?
Yeah, like I said, I would do anything for Albert. I love him. If he was, you know, able to do it, I would do it. Anything. I love that guy.
Now, for all your, I noticed, because tracking you down is impossible. You don't have like a website or Twitter or anything like that, do you?
Yeah, I do. I got I don't know my name on Twitter, but I only follow like those theoretical physicists because they're on there. I love those guys, Axtech Mark and Michio Kaku. But on Instagram, I'm there. Let me look at it. I'll tell you my name.
I can tell you, I follow you on Instagram. You're sporadic on there, but I do follow you on there.
Oh yeah, so like I got that, and I got the. It says the real Sasha Mitchell.
Yeah.
Picture of me and my dog, and then my son, is he in that picture? Or he took that picture, yeah. And then on Facebook, I got a thing. On Twitter, I got a thing in there, but
You're not a big social media guy, are you?
no, man, I work. You know,
Yeah, I sent you a friend request on Facebook. It's a picture of you and your son. You're in a Batman shirt, I believe.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's my son and I. Like, they got a cigar. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent you a friend request.
On there?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look. I don't look a lot. Oh, that one is Sasha Mitchell at Sasha727.
You don't have like a website or anything, do you?
No.
And I guess why
I
would
own the thing for a while, and I was putting up like welding work that I'd done, and then I work too much. I don't care that much. You know, oh man, I gotta get to work too. Yeah.
Now, do you do appearances or anything anymore?
No, like if I go anywhere and take off enough work to do anything, it's gonna be probably the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. With all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
With those guys, Kerry Tagawa, he's always there. I love him, and it'll be my sensei, and just everybody's always at that, and I love it. Chuck Zito, he's like one of my favorite guys in the world.
He's cool.
And Don's always there with James, and the Wilson brothers, and then everybody's always there. It's just feels so good to be there with them, and it's January in New Jersey, so nobody else, like from the public, really comes much. So we just have so much time to stand around and talk. But that's about the only thing I do. Or Dragon Fest in California, and that's put on, that one by Michael Matsuda.
Oh, it used to be my buddy Gerald Nakamura.
He's there. He's always there.
Mm-hmm. He used to run it, didn't he?
I don't know if he runs it, but I think it has more to do with the Martial Arts History Museum now, like I just said, because I think who are the brothers, the Goldbergs brothers, he's financing it.
Yeah, I'm definitely, when the pandemic is over, now that my son's older, we'll definitely have to go to a couple of those conventions.
Yeah, Gerald's always there, though, man. I love that guy. And the stickers.
Yes, he has skateboards and stuffed animals and everything now.
Yeah, but it's his stickers that you see everywhere. That's I love him, man.
He's cool. He invented a tampon knife that never came out. Genius idea. Genius.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for doing this. This has been a real honor for me, and I really do appreciate it.
Dude, it's my pleasure. I like it. I like talking about those guys. I appreciate it. You brought back so many vivid memories for me that of course, when you work just so many hours a day, you never really stop and think about these guys, and I love them. So I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. You have been listening to the Chronicles of Hollywood History. Thank you from Gomez Richmond Productions.